Chapter 6. Before leaving the hotel, Joe removed the memory card from his camera, and Katie downloaded the video interview she had done with Holly Johnson onto her laptop. She then copied it to a thumb drive. She removed it, inserted another thumb drive, and copied the interview video to it along with the videos Gabe gave them. Joe put the memory card back in his camera. Katie put both drives in her purse, and they headed to the police station. When they arrived, an officer escorted them to Gabe's office. They sat in chairs in front of Gabe's desk, and he asked, "Did you learn something today?" "We think we know who the murderer is," Katie said. Gabe looked surprised and said, "Really? Already? Who is it?" "Holly Johnson," Katie said. "Virginia's coworker? What makes you suspect her?" Gabe asked. "Well, first of all, Ashley remembered being shot by someone in a blue ski mask and a black leather jacket. She also remembered her mother showed her a folder that had something to do with the deaths of homeless people." "And you're just telling me that now?" Gabe said. "Sorry, but we were a little busy and it slipped our minds," Katie said. "Were you able to get Victoria's client records?" "Yes, we did, but I haven't had a chance to look through them." "Did you check her office? Did you find a folder that she might have shown Ashley?" Katie asked. "We did check her office and Ashley's car. We didn't find any folder about homeless deaths." "That's suspicious," Joe said. "The killer probably took it. Check to see if one of Victoria's homeless clients has died recently." "Okay, I will, but back to Holly Johnson. What evidence do you have that she is involved?" "It's better if we show you," Joe said. "Bring up the video of Virginia's office, the one pointing at her office door." Gabe brought up the video while Joe and Katie walked around to his side of the desk. Joe pointed at the screen and said, "This is Holly's door. Watch it closely." Shortly after Ashley arrived and entered her mother's office, Gabe watched Holly's door crack open and asked, "How is this relevant?" "Keep watching," Joe said. A few minutes later, they watched Ashley and Virginia leave. A few seconds after that, they saw Holly's door open all the way. "So she left her office. How does that make her a killer?" "Two reasons," Katie said. "First, she lied about where she was when the commotion started, and the second reason should become obvious when you see this video." Katie handed Gabe the thumb drive. He inserted it into his computer and brought up the video of Katie's interview with Holly. Gabe immediately noticed the leather jacket and said, "I don't believe it." "Keep watching. You'll see her lie again about where she was," Katie said. After it was over, Gabe said, "That was good work. You not only caught her in a lie on tape, but you also got the leather jacket in the frame. I wish I had you two on my team." "We are on your team, Gabe," Katie said. "Yes, you are, but you know what I mean." "What will you do now?" Joe asked. "I need to talk to Ashley again and get her statement about the leather jacket and whatever else she remembers. I think then we can bring Holly in for questioning." "Can you call us before you do that?" Katie asked. "We'd like to be there." "It's the least I can do," Gabe said. After leaving Gabe's office, they decided to go to the television station. When they walked into the newsroom, several people greeted them. They told Katie how happy they were that she was back and congratulated them on their wedding. Katie found her desk the way she left it. She checked her email and was overwhelmed by how much was in it. She skimmed through it, but found nothing important. "Let's go talk to Billy," she said. Katie and Joe found Billy tapping away at his computer. She tapped him on his shoulder, and he turned and said, "Oh, Miss Katie, welcome back. Mr. Martin told me to expect a visit from you." "Thanks, Billy. It's good to be back, and it's Mrs. now." "That's right. Congratulations. How can I help you?" "Two things, Billy. We need information on a woman named Holly Johnson. She's a caseworker at social services. We also need to know about the recent deaths of homeless people. Can you find out who died in Milwaukee over the last 5 months or so?" The first one should be easy, but I'm pretty sure deaths are not recorded based on a person's housing status. That might take some time. Maybe you can look at which burials were funded by the city. I'm sure these people didn't have insurance or a prepaid funeral plan. If they were homeless, they probably had no family to help with those expenses. "That's a great idea. I'll email you when I find something. Do you still have the same email?" "Yes, I do. Thanks, Billy." They left Billy and went to Bob Martin's office. Katie knocked on the door, opened it, and asked, "Are you busy?" Katie, Joe, come on in. Have a seat. I'm always busy, but I have time for you. They sat down, and Bob said, "That was a great interview you did with Ashley. We are getting a lot of positive feedback on our social media channels." "Thanks, Bob," Katie said. "So, how's the investigation going?" "We believe we know who the murderer is," Katie said. "That was quick. Show me what you have." Katie took the thumb drive out of her purse and handed it to Bob. He put it in his computer while Katie told him what they learned from Ashley. Joe then explained the videos as he did with Gabe. "I'm impressed with how you figured this out, but it's not enough to convict her." "We know, but Gabe will be bringing her in for questioning. We hope he will get her to talk, or at least say something that incriminates herself." "What will you do if she says nothing?" "We'll just keep plugging along. Billy is looking into a couple of things for us." "Okay, that's good work, you two. Keep me posted and let me know if there's anything I can do." "Okay, thank you," Katie said. When they left Bob Martin's office, Katie returned to her desk and started rummaging through the drawers. "What are you looking for?" Joe asked. She found what she was looking for and showed Joe a half-dozen business cards. "I was hoping I hadn't thrown them all away." "That should help our investigation," Joe said. "Very funny. A business card helps us look more professional. It also makes it easier to share my phone number with someone in case they come across information that might be useful. Don't tell me you never had business cards." "I'm sorry. I was joking. I didn't expect you to be so passionate about it." "I actually have business cards now," Joe said. "You're kidding? A man with no phone has business cards?" "Sure. They are at the front desk of the resort." "Oh, of course. That makes sense. I sometimes forget that you are more like a normal person when you're at the resort." "What do you mean by a normal person? I think I feel insulted," Joe said. Katie put her arms around Joe and said, "I love that you're not normal." "Thanks, I think." As they left the newsroom, they passed a woman holding her wrist and wincing in pain. "What's wrong, Debbie?" Katie asked. "Oh, this damn carpal tunnel is kicking my ass today." "Let me help," Joe said and put his hand on her arm. There are certain pressure points that might help relieve the pain. He randomly pressed on a spot on her forearm. He had no idea if there really were pressure points, but that didn't matter. After 5 minutes, he let go. "How does it feel now?" She turned her wrist several times and said, "Oh my God, the pain is almost gone. I don't believe it. Thank you so much." "I'm glad I could help," Joe said. As they left the building, Katie said, "What you did was very nice." "It was a temporary fix. She needs to change her work habits if she wants the pain to stay away." "Temporary or not, that was a good thing you did." They got in the car just as Katie's phone rang. She saw it was Gabe calling and answered it. "Hi, Gabe." "Hi, Katie. I'll be heading with an officer to pick up Holly Johnson for questioning. We'll be there around 4:30. As a courtesy, I'm letting you know, but you can't be part of it." After she hung up, she repeated to Joe what Gabe said. He looked at the clock on the dashboard and said, "We should have plenty of time to get there." They headed to the social services building and parked in front. After 5 minutes, Gabe arrived in a police car with a young officer. Joe grabbed his camera from the back seat, and they got out and met Gabe in front of the building. "You need to wait out here," he told them before entering the building. Gabe and the officer walked past the reception area without saying a word and knocked on Holly's door. Gabe opened the door without waiting for a reply and walked inside with the officer. Holly had a shocked look on her face and asked, "What's going on? What is this all about?" "Holly Johnson, we need you to come with us to the police station. We have some questions we'd like you to answer." "Are you arresting me?" she asked. "Should I be?" Gabe asked. "Of course not," she said as she stood up. "I'll cooperate any way that I can." She put her leather jacket on, and the officer grabbed her arm. She stomped on his foot, causing him to let go of her and wince in pain as Holly raced out the door. She ran outside onto the street, where a pickup truck ran into her. Joe filmed the whole thing and handed the camera to Katie before running to see if Holly was okay. She lay on the ground, apparently unconscious, while a crowd gathered. The young officer got on his radio and called for an ambulance while Joe knelt, touched her arm, and pretended to examine her. After 30 seconds, he let go and returned to Katie. "Why did you stop?" she asked. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong," Joe said. "She's not hurt badly. She's faking it." "She's faking it? Why would she do that?" "I don't know. That truck slowed her down. She probably figured they would catch her and thinks a hospital would be easier to escape from than a jail." "That makes sense. What will you tell Gabe?" "Nothing. I can't tell him that she's faking an injury. How would I explain knowing that?" Katie shook her head. "I don't know. We should give him the heads up somehow." Joe walked over to where Gabe was standing. Katie followed him. "Gabe," he said, "I don't trust her. I assume you will post someone at her door at the hospital." "Of course," Gabe said. "You should also handcuff her to the bed. Don't worry, she won't get past us again." A few minutes later, an ambulance and several more police officers arrived. They put Holly into the ambulance and drove her away. Katie and Joe learned from Gabe that the ambulance was taking her to the same hospital where Ashley was. When they were alone, Katie said, "I have a bad feeling about this." Joe nodded and said, "Yeah, me too." Once back at the hotel, Katie took out her laptop and checked her emails. She got one from Billy and opened it. "Billy sent us something," she said. Joe stood behind Katie and looked over her shoulder. She opened the first attachment. It was about Holly Johnson. It says Holly earned her bachelor's degree in social work, but didn't work in the field after college. Instead, she went to nursing school and became a nurse. She was a nurse at Jackson McCormick Hospital for 7 years. Maybe that's why she faked being unconscious. Maybe she knew she would be taken there. Maybe she has friends there that could help her escape. "That makes a lot of sense," Joe said. "What else does it say about her?" "Her father died almost a year ago, and she quit her job a couple of months after that." "Does it say how her father died?" "No, there are no details here about that." "Can you ask Billy to look into it for us?" "Certainly," Katie said and replied to the email with the request. Katie opened the other attachment and started to read it to herself. After a while, Joe said, "What does it say?" "It says there have been 16 deaths of people with no listed address since 5 months ago. It looks like Billy found a better way to search than I suggested." "He does that for a living," Joe said. "It's still impressive. It also says the average is usually less than 2 a month. So, since 5 months ago, there have been 6 or 7 more deaths of homeless people than average." "Does that report say when Holly started working for social services?" Katie looked at the screen and said, "Next week will be 6 months. So, Holly Johnson takes a job at social services, and suddenly, homeless people start dying. Why would that be?" "I don't know. Maybe she hates homeless people for some reason." "Does it say anything else about her in that report? I mean, was she attacked or something like that?" "No, there are no police reports." "I don't think Billy would have missed that." "It just doesn't add up," Joe said. "She went to school for social work, and then she went to nursing school. Both professions indicate a desire to help people, not kill them." "Sometimes people snap," Katie said. "Sometimes they do, but in this case, I feel like we're missing a piece of the puzzle. We should talk to the medical examiner tomorrow. If we can find out why those people died, we might have a better understanding of what's going on around here." "Did Billy send you a list of names?" Joe asked. "Yes, he did. The most recent was a man named Timothy Edelson. He died 4 days before Ashley and Virginia were shot. It's possible his death is what prompted Virginia to call Ashley and ask for her help. We should start with him." "I agree. Maybe you can ask Gabe if this Edelson guy was a client of hers." "I'll text him," Katie said before taking out her phone and typing a message to Gabe. She put her phone away and said, "I'm starving. We should get something to eat." "I would like to spend some quality time with my beautiful wife," Joe said. "I bet we can order food from the hotel restaurant and have it delivered to the room." Katie put her arms around Joe and kissed him. "I love the way you think." When they finished eating, they took a bath together. As they lay in the tub, Katie asked, "Do you think I'll be an okay mom?" "No, I think you'll be a great mom. Do you have doubts?" "I don't know. This is new to me. You've been through it before, but I'm not sure what to do. What if I screw up? What if our child becomes a criminal because I was too strict or too lenient?" "Are you thinking about Holly Johnson's mother?" "Yes. Whatever she did wrong, I don't want to do that. Relax. I'm certain you will be a great mother. The thing is, no matter what you do, there will always be influences that are beyond your control. The best you can do is be an example of what a good person should be. For you, that will be easy. Katie leaned back against Joe's chest, looked up, and said, I'm so glad I married you. Last Rites continues on the next video. For more information on this book and others by this author, please visit charleshuss.com.